December 16th, 1944. The Ardennes Forest on the border of Belgium and Germany. The winter is the coldest Europe has seen in a century. The snow is falling so thick and heavy that it completely grounds the Allied air forces. The deep, ancient pine forests are wrapped in a suffocating, freezing fog. Visibility is reduced to practically zero. For the American soldiers of the 106th Infantry Division holding the line in this quiet, supposedly safe sector of the front, the war seems like a miserable, freezing waiting game. They are tired, they are cold, and they are completely unprepared for the apocalypse that is about to fall upon their heads. Adolf Hitler, in a state of sheer, desperate delusion, has planned one final massive counteroffensive to break the back of the Allied forces in the West. Operation Wacht am Rhein, the Battle of the Bulge. Over 400,000 German troops, supported by thousands of heavy Panzer and Tiger tanks, are hiding silently in the dense woods, waiting for the order to attack. But brute force is not Hitler's only weapon in this offensive. He has deployed a phantom element, a weapon of psychological terror, Operation Greif. Commanded by the legendary and ruthless SS Lieutenant Colonel Otto Skorzeny, a specialized, highly classified unit of English-speaking German commandos has been formed. Their mission is absolute chaos. They are wearing captured, blood-stained American uniforms. They are driving stolen, repurposed American Willys Jeeps. They carry M1 Garand rifles and carry forged American identification papers. Their orders are to slip behind the American lines right as the artillery barrage begins. They are to cut telephone wires, switch road signs to send American reinforcements into deadly ambushes, and most importantly, they are ordered to identify, ambush, and eliminate high-ranking Allied commanders. Deep in the frozen, blinding fog of the Ardennes, one of Skorzeny's elite commando units is waiting in the shadows along a narrow, muddy logging road. They have set up a lethal kill zone. Anti-tank Teller mines are buried under the fresh snow. Two deadly MG-42 machine gun nests are positioned in a crossfire formation behind the tree line. They are waiting for an American convoy to pass. They are waiting to slaughter American officers. But history is about to be completely, violently, and unimaginably derailed. The ambush they have set is about to catch a prey from a time they cannot even begin to comprehend. Let us shift the timeline. January 20th, 2020, present day. A desolate, snow-covered highway in upstate New York. The United States presidential motorcade is moving at high speed under the most intense, heavily armed security protocols known to human civilization. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, the Commander-in-Chief of the most powerful military force in the history of the world, is returning to Air Force One after a highly classified facility visit. The motorcade is not a convoy. It is a rolling, impenetrable, nuclear-hardened fortress. At its absolute center is the Beast, Cadillac One, the presidential state car. It is a custom-built, heavily armored limousine that serves as the president's mobile bunker. Surrounding the Beast is a perfectly choreographed ballet of heavily armored Chevrolet Suburbans.
Inside these black, unmarked SUVs is the Secret Service Counter-Assault Team, universally known as CAT. If the President's Close Protection Detail are the shields, CAT are the swords. They are the absolute elite of American law enforcement tactical units, armed with heavy automatic weapons, sniper rifles, and explosive breaching gear. Their sole operational purpose is to lay down an overwhelming, devastating volume of suppressive fire in the event of an ambush. Overlord, this is Wombat. We are 5 miles from Checkpoint Alpha. Road conditions are deteriorating, but we are maintaining speed. The lead Secret Service agent reports over the encrypted, frequency-hopping satellite communications network. Copy that, Wombat. Maintain current speed and formation. the command center replies. But the motorcade never reaches checkpoint Alpha. Without a single warning from the advanced meteorological sensors or the ground-penetrating radar, the freezing air directly in front of the speeding motorcade violently fractures. It does not look like a storm. It looks as if the three-dimensional space of the highway is cracking like a massive pane of tempered glass. A pulsating, blinding, unearthly storm of violet and golden electromagnetic energy erupts across the asphalt. It defies all known laws of physics, emitting no heat but generating a localized gravitational pull that makes the heavy vehicles shudder. Traveling at 60 miles per hour, there is absolutely no time for the drivers to hit the brakes. The entire central package of the motorcade, the Beast, and the two heavily armed Secret Service Cat Suburbans flanking it, drives directly, head-first, into the center of the temporal rift. Inside the Beast, the cabin violently shakes. The president is thrown against his 5-point harness. The heavily encrypted satellite phones and secure video links instantly die, displaying nothing but harsh, analog static. The digital tracking screens on the dashboard go completely black. The 8-ton vehicle feels for a terrifying 3 seconds as if it is in a state of free fall through a dark, endless void. And then the blinding violet light vanishes. The heavy, run-flat tires of the motorcade slam violently onto a muddy, deeply rutted, snow-covered dirt road. The suspension systems scream in protest as the vehicles bounce over the rough terrain. The highly trained Secret Service drivers immediately slam on the brakes, executing a perfect, defensive V-formation tactical halt in the middle of a dense, freezing, ancient pine forest. The Secret Service agents instantly spring into protocol. There is no panic, only cold, calculated operational execution. Cat leader to all elements, defensive perimeter. I have lost all GPS signals. Comms are completely dead. I repeat, we have zero connection to Overlord. Where the hell are we? The tactical commander barks into his internal radio. Inside the Beast, the lead detail agent turns from the front seat to face President Trump in the rear compartment. Mr. President, please remain seated and stay low. We have experienced a catastrophic navigational and communications failure. The counter-assault team is currently assessing the threat environment outside the vehicle. Trump looks out through the 5-inch thick, multi-layered bulletproof glass. The modern paved New York highway is completely gone. The sky is dark, heavy, and choked with a thick, unnatural fog. The trees surrounding them are ancient, towering pines covered in heavy snow. This isn't New York, the president says, his voice surprisingly calm, his eyes narrowing as he assesses the strange environment. The road is unpaved. Where's the local police escort? Where are the advance vehicles? Outside, less than 100 yards away, hidden deep in the freezing tree line, Otto Skorzeny's Nazi commandos are watching the road in absolute paralyzing shock. They were expecting a slow-moving convoy of 1940s Willys Jeeps and unprotected thin canvas transport trucks carrying American officers.
Instead, 3 massive, terrifying jet-black vehicles have just materialized out of thin air in a flash of purple light. They have no visible, conventional headlights, only strange, glowing red and blue tactical strobe lights pulsing in the fog. The vehicles are larger, wider, and heavier than anything the German soldiers have ever seen in their lives. They look like alien spacecraft painted gloss black. The Nazi commander, an SS captain speaking perfect American English, assumes they have stumbled upon a highly classified, top-secret Allied prototype weapon. He doesn't know what it is, but his orders are clear. Leave no survivors. He raises his hand. He doesn't hesitate. "Feuer! Fire!" he screams in German. The ambush is violently sprung. The 2 hidden MG-42 machine gun nests open up simultaneously from the tree line. The MG42 is known as Hitler's Bawsaw. It fires the heavy 7.92mm Mauser cartridge at a staggering, terrifying rate of 1,200 rounds per minute. The sound of the weapon is not a rapid tapping, it is a continuous, deafening, tearing sound, like a giant ripping a sheet of canvas. Thousands of armor-piercing bullets tear through the freezing air and slam directly into the side profile of the Beast and the Secret Service SUVs. Let us pause the timeline and look at the absolute, almost comical absurdity of this technological mismatch. To a 1940s German machine gunner, a standard military vehicle is made of thin, unhardened steel and fragile glass. A burst from an MG42 will easily tear through the engine block, the doors, and the men inside a 1944 Jeep in a matter of seconds. But the Beast is not a car. It is a main battle tank disguised as a luxury limousine. Its armor plating is an astonishing 8 inches thick. It is not just steel, it is a highly classified, multi-layered composite armor consisting of military-grade titanium, dual-hardness aluminum, and advanced ceramic matrices designed to dissipate the kinetic energy of modern anti-tank rockets. Its windows are not glass. They are 5 separate layers of polycarbonate and specialized transparent armor, over 5 inches thick. They are designed to stop point-blank, armor-piercing rounds from a .50 caliber sniper rifle. The doors of the vehicle weigh exactly as much as the cabin doors of a Boeing 757 airliner. The undercarriage is reinforced with a heavy steel plate to protect against improvised explosive devices and landmines. Even the tires are Kevlar reinforced and run flat. If they are completely shredded by gunfire, the vehicle can still escape at highway speeds on its steel rims. The relentless, furious Nazi machine gun fire hits the Beast, and the bullets simply shatter into harmless copper and lead dust. The sparks fly brilliantly into the snow, illuminating the dark road. The 1940s armor-piercing rounds strike the polycarbonate windows and bounce off, leaving nothing but minor superficial white scratches on the outer layer. The kinetic energy of the Nazi weapons is completely absorbed and nullified by 21st century engineering. Inside the sealed, environmentally protected cabin, President Trump barely hears a muffled, distant tapping sound, as if it were raining heavy hail on the roof. The vehicle doesn't even rock. The glass doesn't even splinter. "Contact left. Hostiles in the tree line. Multiple automatic weapons," the CAT leader yells over the tactical frequency. "They are firing on the package. Return fire. Suppress and eliminate." The heavy, armored doors of the black Suburbans fly open with mechanical precision. The Secret Service counter-assault team deploys into the snow. These are not regular bodyguards in suits. These are the most highly trained, lethally equipped, close-quarters combat operators on the planet. They step into the freezing mud of 1944, wearing full Level 4 Kevlar tactical body armor. On their helmets, they wear the GP-NVG-18, the ground panoramic night vision goggles. These advanced optical devices give the operators a 120-degree field of view in total darkness. They are armed with fully automatic SR-16 assault rifles, equipped with advanced holographic sights, infrared laser aiming modules, and heavy suppressors. The Nazi commandos, confident in their hidden ambush positions and the lethal crossfire of their machine guns, suddenly find themselves facing literal demons in the dark.
The Secret Service operators do not fire blindly into the woods. They are surgical. Their 4-tube night vision goggles cut through the dense 1944 winter fog like it doesn't even exist. The body heat of the hidden German soldiers causes them to glow a bright, undeniable neon green in the operators' visors. The Nazis are completely blind in the dark. The Americans can see every breath they take. Pff, 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 pff. The suppressed, quiet, and surgically precise fire of the modern American rifles begins. It is a clinical, terrifying, and methodical extermination. The Secret Service operators move with lethal fluidity. The invisible infrared laser beams from their rifles slice through the falling snow, painting the chests and heads of the German soldiers just milliseconds before they are permanently eliminated. The Nazi machine gunners drop dead over their weapons before they can even realize they have been spotted. The heavy 5.56mm modern ammunition punches effortlessly through the trees and the German steel helmets. Panicking, realizing their weapons are entirely useless against the black vehicles and that their men are dying to an invisible enemy, a desperate Nazi soldier shoulders a Panzerfaust. It is an early, primitive, single-shot anti-tank rocket. He aims it directly at the broadside of the beast and pulls the firing mechanism. The rocket streaks through the freezing air, leaving a trail of black smoke, and detonates directly against the passenger side door of the presidential limousine. A massive, bright orange fireball erupts in the snow. The surviving Nazi soldiers cheer from the woods, thinking they have finally destroyed the high-value target. But as the thick smoke clears, the cheering stops dead in their throats. The beast is still sitting there, completely unmoved. Its massive diesel engine is still purring smoothly. The blast of the 1940s-shaped charge barely scorched the specialized radar-absorbent paint on the door. The armor didn't even buckle. "Deploy flashbangs, move in and secure the perimeter," the CAT leader orders. Modern high-intensity stun grenades are hurled with pinpoint accuracy into the tree line. The explosions are blinding flashes of millions of candelas of light, followed by deafening 170-decibel shock waves. The 1940s German soldiers, who have never experienced or conceived of such debilitating, non-lethal technology, are completely incapacitated. They drop to the snow, clutching their bleeding ears and screaming, their vision totally burned out. The Secret Service operators sweep into the forest. In exactly 45 seconds, the elite Nazi ambush unit is completely, systematically wiped out. The surviving Germans, absolutely terrified of the men in heavy black armor with glowing green eyes on their heads, throw down their vintage weapons and surrender in the snow, sobbing in confusion. The forest falls dead silent, save for the idling engines of the modern vehicles. The CAT leader approaches the captured Nazi commander. He kicks the man's MP-40 submachine gun away into the mud. He shines a high-lumen, blinding tactical LED flashlight directly into the German's face. As the light hits the man, the Secret Service agent notices the strange anachronistic wool uniform. He notices the specific shape of the steel Stahlhelm helmet. "Identify yourself. What unit are you with? Who ordered this ambush?" The Secret Service agent barks in English, keeping his rifle trained on the man's chest. The German officer, bleeding from a shrapnel wound and trembling violently from the cold and the sheer psychological shock of the encounter, looks at the futuristic black vehicles and the heavily armored men. I am with the Waffen-SS, 150th Panzer Brigade, commanded by Otto Skorzeny. What in God's name are you? What is that machine?" The Secret Service agent freezes. The tactical mindset of the operator pauses for a fraction of a second. He looks closer at the Nazi insignia on the man's collar, the Totenkopf, the death's head. He looks at the vintage wood and steel weapons scattered in the bloody snow. He looks at the total absence of modern infrastructure around them. The impossible, horrifying reality sinks in. He clicks his radio. "Overlord, this is Wombat. The threat is neutralized, but we have a highly anomalous situation. The hostiles are wearing World War II German uniforms, and they are carrying authentic, functional, antique weaponry."
The agent walks back to the beast and taps a specific coded rhythm on the thick glass of the passenger door. The heavy, vault-like door swings open with a mechanical, pressurized hiss. President Donald Trump steps out of the vehicle and plants his shoes into the freezing, bloody mud of 1944 Belgium. He is wearing his signature dark winter overcoat and a red tie. The cold air bites at his face, but he does not flinch. He looks at the smoking, shattered pine trees. He looks at the captured, terrified soldiers in Nazi uniforms kneeling in the snow. And he looks at the vintage weapons lying on the ground. "Mr. President,"
the lead detail agent says, his voice tight with unprecedented operational stress. "Sir, our systems are completely offline. The astronomical data and the uniforms on these hostiles point to an impossible conclusion. I believe we are no longer in the state of New York, and I believe, sir, we are no longer in the 21st century." Trump does not panic. He is a man who has spent his entire life assessing leverage, evaluating assets, and dominating negotiations. He looks at the captured Nazi commander kneeling in the snow, shivering under the beam of the modern flashlight. He looks at the impenetrable, indestructible black fortress of the beast behind him. A cold, calculating, intensely focused look crosses the president's face. The businessman and the commander-in-chief merge into one entity. He realizes the absolute, overwhelming, godlike power he currently holds in this frozen forest. He is the President of the United States. He possesses the ultimate, complete historical knowledge of how the entire Second World War plays out. He knows exactly where Hitler's secret bunkers are located. He knows the geographical coordinates of every German industrial factory, every troop movement, every U-boat pen, and every single tactical and strategic flaw in the Nazi war machine. He knows about the Enigma code. He knows about the atomic bomb project. And he is standing in 1944 with a team of elite, hyper-lethal operators and a vehicle that the technology of the era cannot even scratch, let alone destroy. Trump straightens his heavy overcoat. He looks at his Secret Service detail, pointing a finger toward the captured German. "Secure the prisoners," the president says, his voice cutting through the freezing European air with absolute authority. "Put them in the back of the vehicles. We are going to find the American lines. We are going to find General George S. Patton, and we are going to give our boys the blueprints to win this entire war by next Friday." The president turns and looks toward the east, in the direction of Germany. "And then," Trump says, a grim, determined smile forming on his face, "and then we are going to make a deal with Berlin that they will never, ever forget." History is violently, irreparably rewritten on the snowy roads of the Ardennes. The sudden, unexplained appearance of the 21st century American president in the absolute center of the Battle of the Bulge changes the course of human history overnight. Guided by the Secret Service, the beast easily punches through the German encirclement, arriving at the besieged American headquarters in Bastogne. The shock of the 1940s generals facing a president from the future is quickly overshadowed by the invaluable, flawless military intelligence he provides. Using Trump's future knowledge, General Dwight Eisenhower and General George S. Patton perfectly anticipate every single German armored maneuver. The massive Nazi offensive, which was supposed to cost tens of thousands of American lives and last for over a month, is brutally crushed and encircled in a matter of days.
The Secret Service tactical gear, the encrypted communication protocols, and the miraculous, indestructible engineering of the beast are immediately handed over to American scientists and engineers. This act propels United States military technology decades into the future, long before the Cold War with the Soviet Union can even begin to materialize. The United States achieves absolute global technological hegemony by 1946. The history books of this new, alternate timeline record a bizarre, highly classified, and totally unexplained event during the harsh winter of 1944. They speak of a mysterious group of towering men in black, impenetrable armor, driving an indestructible, roaring black steel chariot, who appeared from the freezing fog of the Ardennes forest. They speak of these men handing the Allied commanders the literal keys to total, unconditional victory. And they speak of a mysterious, imposing leader from the future, a man who did not fire a single bullet, but who delivered the ultimate, devastating executive order upon the Third Reich, erasing it from existence ahead of schedule.
Welcome to the Tactical Time Rift. What historical event would you change if you were dropped into the past with the ultimate modern protection? How would you rewrite the wars of the 20th century? Drop your tactical thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and prepare your gear for the next rift to open.